morning, everyone, and welcome to today's event. Thank you for taking the time to be a part of today's session. My name is Laura, Project Manager for DigiConnect, and we're all delighted to have everyone here. Today's event is the Executive IT Leaders Virtual Boardroom, wherein we'll be taking a deep dive on how to enable an always-on business with ITSM and ITOM. And this event is hosted alongside with our presenting partner, Freshworks. Just before we get into it, allow me to take you through a few housekeeping rules just to guide us all throughout the session. So if you're able to keep your cameras on, please feel free to do so. But if you're not in a suitable place to do that, that's totally fine. And as you may have noticed, everyone is kept on mute just to avoid any background noises, any distractions, to ensure we have a smooth event all throughout. If at any point you get disconnected due to network issues, feel free to just rejoin, and our team from the back end would be able to admit you back into the call right away. Most importantly, we would like to make this session as interactive as possible, so feel free to post in your comments, your questions in the chat box, and we'll be more than glad to respond to them during the Q&A session. We have an interesting 60-minute roundtable presentation session today with an amazing lineup of speakers. We start off with Subhashree, Manager for Product Marketing from Freshworks. We also have Mr. Mohammad Wassim Khayata, the CEO of Mbank. We also do have Engineer Ashraf Nadeem, the Vice President for Information Technology from Saudia Catering. We also have Mr. Mohammad Ali Shalan, Director of Technology, Akarat Real Estate Development. And of course, we have Mr. Imran Kannuti, Head of PMO from Mbank Misr. Without further ado, let me pass you on to Subhashree, who will lead the presentation and the panel session today. Over to you, Subhashree.
Thank you, Lara. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's doing fantastic today. So I'm currently in India, and it's a very bright and sunny day today. So I'm very excited to get this started. We have a lot of esteemed panelists who have a lot of experience in varied industries from IT, and I'm very excited to have a good conversation with all of them, and I hope you guys will be as participative as well. So let me get started now. So I'm going to start talking about what an always-on business really means and why IT is really at the backbone of ensuring a business runs smoothly, right? So how do you enable an always-on business with service management and operations management together? So I'm from Freshworks. For those who don't know about Freshworks, here's just a quick introduction about us. We were founded about 12 years ago in 2010. We were about 495 million annual guidance. We recently went public in NASDAQ last year. So we are, FRSH is our trading stock, and we have about 5,000 employees. We have about 58,000 customers, and we're across the globe in over 13 locations. And we've, of course, been recognized by Gartner, Forrester, and all of the leading analyst firms. So I'm just going to quickly run you through an agenda. I'm going to talk about what challenges businesses face and IT leaders face today. And I'm sure most of you, and I hope most of you will resonate with it as well, and how IT service management can add value to the business and not just be a support function anymore, and why ITSM with ITOM can add more value. And I also have a quick customer success story of one of our customers that have, switched to Freshservice and what are the benefits that they saw. And of course, the Freshservice advantage, I'm going to talk a little bit about, the varied features, and then also jump into a Q&A session. So Lara, if you can just launch the poll. Before I get started, I would really like to learn from all of you, what is your biggest challenge for IT in the upcoming year, right? We're all facing similar challenges, and I'm sure that you face most of it in some quantity or the other, but what is your biggest challenge, right? Redefining future of work, everyone's coming back to work, the organizations are defining multiple layers, right? Like you work from the office like 3 days a week, or you're permanently remote, or you come into work every day. Is redefining that, the security protocols, ensuring all of your assets are up to date, is that a challenge? Delivering a seamless employee experience, ensuring that as an IT team, you are accessible by your employees and you give them a good experience. Getting the right tools and technologies in place, especially with the dynamic environment that we have today, the digital environment we have today, it's very hard to understand all these new tools in the market and, get these tools and ensure that these tools actually stack up and, enable your agents and your employees to do better versus, being a burden for them. Or is it, being always on to minimize the impact it has on business, right? Minimizing your downtime and all of that. So I'd love to hear from all of you.
Yes, requesting for everyone to participate in the poll. I'm pretty sure you'd see a small screen with a question and just click your answer. We encourage everyone to put in your answers there and we'd like to hear from you. Thank you.
Do you want to close the poll, Lara?
Lara, you maybe want to relaunch it. Just that a few people are saying that the option windows.
I'm just relaunching it now. There you go.
Okay.
We can see it now.
Okay. All right. So let's just ensure not to stop the poll because everyone else is still putting in their questions. Thank you. Now people are answering. That's perfect. Yes.
Okay, that's awesome. I think the results look very interesting. I think it's very similar to what I had in mind. So I think about 70% have said that getting the right tools and technologies in place is the biggest challenge they see. And it's very interesting. And I'm going to talk more about it with the panelists here as well. And I think redefining future work, seamless employee experience, and having an always on business are all in and around the 10% range. That's great. Okay, awesome. So I'm glad to hear that. And I hope you will then find this useful and engaging as well. So here are the top business challenges that IT leaders grapple with, right? So number one is external dependencies slowing down IT support. And what do we mean by external dependencies slowing down IT support is that, there's a longer implementation cycle, there are frequent updates that these tools have. And like you said, because of multiple tools, there's also, data flow, security reasons that, IT leaders have to be worried about. The next is a poor employee service experience that impacts the perception of IT, right? And if you have an always under construction IT tool that's still, not fully sketched out, it leads to a poor user experience. And if you're not available in multiple channels for your employees to reach out, then they always have to look or search for how to reach out to IT, and, longer resolution times will all lead to a poor employee experience. And the next is product complexity, which breeds agent frustration. So if you have a very complex, clunky product that's not intuitive, that's not helping your agents get their job done faster, your agents are not going to like working on that tool. The next is, of course, hidden costs escalating the whole total cost of ownership, right? Everyone says, transparent pricing and, here's what you're paying for. But of course, there's hidden implementation fees, there's extra integration fees, there's extensibility fees, there's scalability fees, there's cloud fees, and all of these kind of add up, which ends up, creating a larger bill for IT leaders. And the next is technical debt hindering faster time to value, which kind of ties back into, the previous point as well. Like low business value and slow time to value is basically money. Money is time, right? So, time is money, right? So of course, like if you're going to have a longer implementation cycle, and if you're not, getting tickets resolved faster, that's technical debt for you, right? And of course, the last one is downtime that's hurting end user experience, revenue, and also the perception of the brand. So if your systems are not available for your employees to use at the time that they want to use, that's going to also impact the perception of the employees about the company that they work for and the brand. So I think I have a panel question now for, I'd love for Mr. Mohammad Ali Shalan and Mr. Imran Kannuti to, weigh in on what they think. So the volume of IT operations and data produced is increasing, right? With all of this data that we have. And without mature digital operations, can enterprises survive and succeed in a post-pandemic business environment?
If you allow me, actually, as I see today, today technology is the heart of the business, and any glitch in the digital operation will increase revenues immediately, and this will affect the organization's reputation as well. So for this reason, actually, a lot of organizations are collecting real-time data today, and there is no more option actually to work without maturity, because you have to handle real-time monitoring, continuous support for digital operations. For example, here, as we are working in smart cities, then this is very important for us, because when we are running a mature digital operations, meaning that any glitch will affect the critical operations like normal service, security services, sometimes electricity services, and the city operation. And this will have a direct impact on tenants. So I think it's no more an option to have a mature digital operations to run your services.
Yeah. I would like to add further points on this. Thank you very much, Mohammad. See, to answer the question, can enterprises survive and succeed in a post-pandemic business environment? The answer is pretty much, it is tough to survive, because with an increased dependency on the digital services post-pandemic, companies are at high risk. And particularly when things go wrong, we should have a proper solutions already identified to tackle it. Because those without having a way to manage unplanned events or incidents, the organization's business as usual is at risk, so including the long-term success of the business and its reputation. And now to go further, how to survive in this post-pandemic environment without having a matured IT operations, what exactly we should do is, from my point of view, we need to ensure that we maintain the right maturity in IT operations, because it's how we manage and maintain the consistency, the reliability, and resilience of our IT infrastructure. It helps us to be well prepared in advance to detect, mobilize, respond, and even resolve outages when the system failures happen. So the biggest benefit of digital operations maturity, if it is maintained in the companies, then it is what we exactly call a mature organizations just perform better. Like, I mean to say, if organizations are mature enough to properly maintain the right skill set and the proper leadership, then they will perform better. They have a happier, more productive teams, healthier operational efficiency, and improved customer experiences. So, on an overall, in a nutshell, I can say such maturity helps organizations to be innovative and resilient. Thank you.
I completely agree, especially with the point that you said about, having, a resilient IT team and operations, right? To minimize downtime and to ensure there are no outages. Like I said in the beginning, the IT team is not just a support team anymore, right? The whole crux and the purpose of the IT team, especially in and around the pandemic, has really moved from just being a support team. IT had to overnight, redo the entire landscape of the business and move everything digital. Most businesses had to go digital, and online to be available and to continue to run. So IT especially has moved from just being a support team to actually enabling the business to do better and achieve business goals, right? So it's very important to have like a resilient system in place so that your business can continue business as usual, right? So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, Mr. Mohammad Shalan and Imran. All right, so how can IT service management bring value to your business, right? Here are 5 benefits for of IT service management. Now, the first one is it empowers your end users and customers with a consumer grade experience. Now, what do we say when we say consumer grade experience, right? Employees also look for the same kind of experience they have as a customer. You should be available for employees in any channel of their choice. Employees do not want to wait to come to the office to get support from the IT team. They don't want to wait to call and be online, right? And they want to be able to, whether they're traveling to work or whether they are working from home or whether they're in any mode, right? Whatever mode they're in, they want to be able to get the help that they want when they want it, right? So you have to be available when and where your employees want you to be, right? The next one is aligning your IT infrastructure to best practices. And when we say that, what I mean is, incident management ensures, smooth business operations with minimal or no downtime, right? And incident management best practices for effective incident handling and resolution include, easy accessibility, effective communication, and things like that. So when you align your IT infrastructure to best practices that are followed across the industry, they help you run your IT service management better. And distinguishing, your service requests and incidents can help you do that. Categorizing and resolving pre-approved changes as service requests, and you can ensure that they do not launch any unnecessary, complicated workflows, etc. The next is an increase in agent efficiency by enabling them to communicate over their preferred channel. Like I said in the beginning, your end users want you to be available whenever and wherever, right? Similarly, your agents also expect that level of collaboration and communication. So integrated service channels can enable agents and end users to communicate over their preferred channel and switch seamlessly between channels, right? You can be on a conversation on a phone call with an IT agent, and then you might want to just continue that over email or chat, and you should be able to do that because these service channels have to be integrated. The next or the last 2 points are more about automation, and so eliminating repetitive tasks and manual processes lead to productivity gains, and it also drives service efficiency using no-code workflows and powerful automations. Now, automation can not only help in reducing repeatable or redundant manual effort, but also reduce room for manual error. And more importantly, automating workflows, etc., can really help your agents focus on more critical tasks. You remove all of the mundane and repetitive work away from them, giving them more time to focus on critical tasks that is required for the organization. So here's how you can make your business more resilient with your IT system, right? Now, ITSM, like I said in the beginning, is better with ITOM. So you can monitor and manage the health of your digital infrastructure from right within your service desk, right? Now, while ITSM is all about handling processes that support a service through its life cycle, ITOM is concerned with the upkeep of applications, services, connectivity elements that power an organization's technology backbone, right? So ITOM is also about optimally keeping services up and running and for reactive service management without any disruption, right? So if you look at the first one, I'm going to talk about a unified platform to collaboratively address incidents arising in the digital infrastructure. Now, an ITSM solution with a native ITOM features enables organizations to tackle challenges including reactive service management, organization silos, leading to uninformed business decisions and, upgrade trauma and, rising maintenance costs. The next is to respond instantly to critical incidents, right? Now, organizations can streamline incident responses with, technology like on-call management to get a head start on issue resolution. Now, some of the key benefits that you can see with like on-call resolution or on-call management are, getting the right person to do the job, escalating if no agent has responded or even acknowledged that particular incident. You can minimize MTTR. MTTR is the most important metric that we all look at every day, which is mean time to resolution, by eliminating all ambiguities about ownership and eliminating burnout as well. The next is reducing noise with AI-enhanced alert management. Now, constantly switching screens to analyze notifications from different monitoring tools can be very time consuming, it can be very mundane, and it can really burn out your agents, right? And it can also just be exhausting and error prone. So organizations can reduce noise and risk by automating digital operations with alert management that is powered by AI. And this gives a single pane of glass view for an organization's digital infrastructure. The next is improving visibility over data center and IT assets. Now, what this does is when your two tools that really make up your backbone of your IT infrastructure talk to each other or in the same tool, you don't have to switch between multiple tools to analyze and understand the alerts and the incidents and all of that. And the last one is providing an in-depth trend analysis in real time to plan long-term strategic actions. Now, like I said, IT has moved from just being a support function and is aiding in driving business goals. So these reports and analysis can really help you plan better for the upcoming year. So I have my next panel question, and it's mainly for Ashraf, Nadeem, Mohammad Ali, Shalan, and Imran, Kannuti. If you can talk to me about, organizations are looking to improve ITSM and ITOM capabilities, and they're also considering AIOPs. I spoke about it briefly in my previous slide, but if you can talk to the audience and we can discuss this, how do you think AIOPs will help organizations' IT management capabilities and ultimately business operations and outcomes, right? Because when you look at it, yes, AI, it can also seem very scary. People will think AI is very expensive. Will my agents be able to handle it? Can I handle it? Am I mature enough for it? So all of these questions, I'm sure a lot of people have, right? So how do you think that AI ops can really aid in business operations and outcomes?
Yeah, can I take?
Yes, please, Imran.
Yeah. Hi, Mr. Ashraf. Hi, assalamu alaikum. See, artificial intelligence, definitely it's one of the digital acceleration component we are witnessing today in the world of technology. And just not the financial services, you just name any organization, and in every organization, you name any department. Today, artificial intelligence is taking the lead. And whatever applications we are already deploying into our operations and in other business key activities, artificial intelligence inclusion is making much impact. I can just throw some light on this content. Like if you talk about artificial intelligence operations, that means you have, let's say you have already established a proper operations with all governance inside that, but embed artificial intelligence inside your operations will definitely make wonders, I can say, and even enhance the way how you operate. Example, artificial intelligence operations, it aligns different IT environments in an organization, and the main focus is to improve IT service management in companies by ensuring that all IT professionals work as a team rather than as an individual components. And moreover, AI operations makes complex automated decisions by collecting and analyzing the data. As I said, AI is everywhere these days. So when you embed artificial intelligence in the data, it can even bring more value to the company. How? By leveraging this data, these platforms can predict probable future events that may even affect the availability and performance, and even proactively remediate them before they become an issue. And one more thing, artificial intelligence operations uses the artificial intelligence to discover any underlying issues in your IT service management and helps fix them quickly, thereby improving the efficiency across all the departments. Today, we are talking about conversational artificial intelligence, which is like you can introduce your chatbot, you can introduce your virtual assistant. Many companies I'm seeing, they are struggling to identify which conversational artificial intelligence is important for them to address the customer experience concept. So identifying the right artificial intelligence technology to meet your requirements is much more important rather than just go and buy a AI content and plug into your company. So right identification of the AI component and right utilization of the AI component in any department, not limited to operations, will create wonders for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Imran. Good morning, everyone, and good afternoon, wherever you are. Happy to be part of this event this morning. To address the question, Subhashree, and I think this within the scope of ITSM and ITOM as well, the traditional approach of resolving and addressing end user tickets using human resources became really very costly and time consuming. Most of the end users today expect an immediate response and resolution of their issues. While I think most of the service-based platforms provides the ticketing capability and capturing, logging the end user issues, the advanced service-based capability platforms are complemented with the artificial intelligence and advanced analytics as well. These two capability are AIs and artificial intelligence. By capitalizing and implementing this capability, the IT team can now focus much more on the complex and new issues that appears, while leaving the BAU and repeated incident or issues to the artificial intelligence to resolve them, to the artificial intelligence agent to resolve them and address them. And it becomes even more advanced when this capability is linked to advanced tools that not only can immediately resolve user issues, it also can predict the issues before it occurs and resolve them even before the user start to feel these issues. So this is what I really think within the service management and the operation management.
Yeah, if you allow me as well, actually, I think this is really very important. And the most important thing for AIOPs actually is to predict what's going on and to automate decisions, because this kind of automation will lead to generating a lot of data. And this data, when analyzed, the AI can take decisions actually in directions, how you can go into the right direction, how you can enhance the visibility of the overall IT infrastructure, how to go into problem solving, and what is the right attitude or right approach to have to solve a problem. So this kind of data that will be generated and analyzed, it will allow a lot of time for IT people actually to do the major tasks. If we go back actually to the smart cities example, we can say that we are talking now also in the cognitive cities. Cognitive cities is that we are trying to predict the behavior of the system, the behavior of the residents, and in this, we can introduce the right technology as well. We can generate enormous benefits, including energy saving, improving technical assistance to people, and sometimes we resolve problems in few seconds if we are not able to resolve these problems even predictably. So this is very important task, and I think it's coming everywhere in the AIOPs, because it's supporting and complementing the activities that we are doing and reducing time, and of course the efficiency is increasing it too much. So this is from my perspective.
Sorry, I was on mute. Thank you so much for sharing. I think it's fantastic to hear and validate all of that from, the three of you who clearly have a lot of experience in this space. I mean, just to summarize what all of you said, right? It's very important to find what level of maturity you're in and understand the right AI technology that you need for your organization. And, it really does help you, get your tickets resolved faster, handle issues faster, predict issues before they happen, and, just prepare your team in general to deliver better services and operations. So thank you so much. I think, Lara, if you can launch the next poll, I'd love to hear from the audience as well. What challenges are holding you back from implementing a resilient and modern ITSM system, right? Is it the lack of a clear ITSM strategy? Is it insufficient funds and difficulty getting buy-in from, upper management, or is there some skepticism about, implementation, the downtime you'll have to go through, and how it actually delivers and translates into business value? I hope everyone can see the poll.
We have a lot of answers coming. If there's anyone who's not able to see the poll, feel free to let us know. We can relaunch it for you.
Okay, I think, we've got some interesting numbers here. All right, so I think the top answers, around 42% are around having a lack of clear ITSM strategy and also insufficient funds and difficulty in getting buy-in from senior management. I think, let me address the first one, and if any of the panelists want to pitch in as well. I think lack of clear ITSM strategy is one of the something that I've heard from a lot of other IT leaders as well. We don't know where, especially in this dynamic digital environment where businesses are changing, especially in this post-pandemic world. We don't have a clear ITSM strategy. We don't know exactly where we want to be. We're still defining goals of our ITSM strategy. And I think there's two ways to think about this. One is aligning your ITSM strategy with your business goals. It's very important to do that, just because, like we've all spoken about it here, your IT has to feed into the business, right? Your team is supporting the business goals. So you need to ensure that one is you align your goals with the larger business goals. And when it comes to focusing on your own goals, I think it's easier if you break it down and center it around, hey, what can I do for employees, because they're my end users? So is it delivering a good employee experience? Then next one is for the agent and the team that you have. How do I help improve their productivity? How do I enable them to do and be better at their jobs? How do I give them more time and make them focus on more critical tasks that are really taking up and drawing up time, right? So I think these are some of the key questions that you need to think about. If anybody else wants to pitch in, Mr. Mohammed, Khayata, if you want to pitch in and talk about how people should think about their ITSM strategy, feel free to pitch it, right?
Yes, definitely. This is, in my opinion, the most important thing. It's about how do you want your IT to support your business strategy. So I'd like to think about it from a systems thinking point of view. So I love to get into the total system intervention theory, which proposes something called viable system thinking. So what's viable system thinking is basically a tool that will help you to understand what do you need from IT to do in your business. So in that area, they've split this theory into two main ideas. The first is internal and now. The second is external and future. So what does this proposes? As my colleagues mentioned, Imran and others, it's two things. You want to be efficient internally, and you want to be efficient externally with external business challenges, external informations, etc. So having a strategy in terms of knowing what you want your IT to address is the most important in order to get something called organizational readiness. So it's a map between the challenges you want to achieve from a business point of view and how could IT achieve them. And I can put an example of that. ITSM is in fact plays the role of a nervous system in the body of your organization. So it should sense the environment and take signals and corrective actions from your muscles, which are your business and support business units, and react and plan to maintain existence and growth. So how does that happen? So if you have a strategy, whether you are in hospitality, or if you are in mobility, or in aviation, or in banking, you need to define what are the areas that you need to enhance. It is similar to the solution we all use every day, which is called mobile phones. As we know, mobile phones used to be sold based on hardware. So the Nokia, the bananas, the communicators, they used to be sold as a hardware. Then they developed bit by bit, and they sold us a software. So Steve Jobs was able to change the concept of mobiles from hardware to software, where you have various applications. You can buy a health applications. You can have your communications, your calendar, all in one place to achieve an efficient lifestyle. And this is what Steve Jobs wanted, is to teach people how to use technology to have a better life. So that is the same concept of ITSM and ITSM strategy.
That's fantastic. I love the analogy. It's something that we internally talk about as well. The iPhone combined, you don't have to carry a camera separately anymore wherever you go. You don't need to have like a mic to record things. They put multiple hardware technologies together to create one piece of hardware which runs on brilliant software. I love the analogy. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. The next is insufficient funds. I think that is a problem that, of course, we always hear. No one ever has enough budget. So it's kind of key to understand and plan your budget, identify resources and how much you want to spend on tools. And sometimes we think that, hey, this tool is the best in the market because it's been there for so many years. It's super expensive, so I'm sure they have all the features we need. But it's very important to assess and understand at what maturity level your organization IT infrastructure is and what kind of a tool you need. You only need what will help you get to the next stage and scale. You do not, sometimes, we're sold all these frills and laces that are added and we never even look at those features. And these features only make the tool more clunky and complex for your agents to adopt and, work on every day. So I think that's another thing that we can think about. Skeptical about implementation, downtime, and delivering on business value. It's again very important to pick a tool that minimizes your downtime and that that has a lower cost, total cost of ownership, and helps you realize ROI faster. And that will again tie back into the previous point of having budget constraints. So this was fantastic. Thank you everyone for sharing. I think we're all in a similar position and we've all faced we are all having similar challenges. So thank you. All right, so I'm going to quickly jump into what Freshservice is and talk about some of the key things that we have. So some of the key ITOM capabilities that are available in Freshservice is AI-powered alert management. So I spoke about how consolidating alerts from multiple monitoring tools can help your agents and help you to monitor the health of your business services in real time. And users can also intelligently group alerts from various applications and cut through noise. The next one is on-call management. Now, on-call management is basically you can instantly respond to critical incidents with 24/7 monitoring, and you can make every second count by automatically escalating an incident until it is acknowledged by an agent or an admin, right? And you can reach agents in whatever channel of choice or whatever communication method they prefer. It could be a text message, it could be a call, email, an internal communication tool such as Slack or MS Teams. And you can also customize the schedules and shifts as per your organization's requirements, business hours, working hours, holidays, geographically map out, even if you're a global organization. The next is Orchestration Center. Orchestration Center helps you automate multiple workflows at the same time. For example, if an alert comes in, you can have a bunch of triggers that are sent out, a bunch of people that are alerted, emails that go out, etc., all automated so that your agents don't have to focus on, alerting somebody and, talking to somebody about it, and they can actually get into, solving the issue at hand. Of course, cloud management, we're 100% on the cloud. And the data is all on the cloud, so you don't have to worry about it. And of course, you can also look at asset management and SaaS app management, where all your applications are in one single pane. And the last one is service health monitoring, which is all about understanding how your service delivery is and your operations management is. You get a single pane of all the analytics and reports that are available based on how many outages you've had, how your incidents were handled, so you can understand and plan better with resource management, and understand and make more business decisions that are data-backed and informed. And the last one, I'm going to talk about Freshservice, which is the ITSM piece, which is a right-sized, solution to delight your employees and deliver uninterrupted IT, right? So it's an intuitive tool. I spoke about how having an intuitive tool is very important in the beginning, right? Now, what do we mean by an intuitive tool? It needs to deliver end-to-end consumer grade and end user experience. It needs to understand and be able to, help your resolve tickets faster. It needs to help your end users as well by providing solutions to them, etc. The next is intelligent. Intelligent is basically providing agility through AI and machine learning, and create contextual and intelligent service delivery. So what do we say by intelligent, right? Some of the things are, for example, virtual agents. Virtual agent is one of the features, which is basically a virtual agent that sits on all of the communication channels that you have. It could be your chat, it could be an internal communication tool you have like Slack or MS Teams. And this virtual agent, when your employee can just get onto Slack and ping saying, hey, I'm having a printer issue or something, or I need to reset my password. Your virtual agent will help it automatically without having to pull in an agent specifically, right? These are low level or L1 tickets that we say, and these L1 tickets can automatically be handled by the end user and the virtual agent without the need for an agent stepping in and creating. Of course, if the ticket is too complicated or the issue at hand is complicated, it will create a ticket, route it to an agent, and then an agent will get in touch with you. So these are some of the intelligent technology that really help your agents focus on critical tasks and not spend too much time on basic tickets. And the next is extensible. So a lot of us spoke about, mature organizations and at what level you are, right? Of course, organizations grow, business units grow. So it's very important that your tool grows with you, right? There's two ways to look at it. Enabling enterprise scale integrations with a marketplace approach, which is basically, everybody has their own ecosystem. Now your tool has to be a plug and play, right? Without too much implementation, without too many, codes and, custom apps that have to be built. It should be more of a plug and play where you onboard the new tool, it integrates with your existing tech stack, data flows smoothly, everything is good to go. The next is also being able to extend it to other business units, right? Now, IT is using it, the principles of ITIL, we spoke about how, a lot of these principles actually help organizations be better at IT and delivering services. Now, how can you extend that to HR, marketing, finance, admin, facilities, right? Every employee has some requests. It could be a payroll request. It could be a leave of absence request, any kind of request for HR or facilities or admin or marketing. So how can you extend the same IT tool that you have that, processes all of your service requests for other business units as well? So we can do that as well. And of course, the last one is a partner-like engagement model where your tool it's not a one-time thing. You don't buy it, start using it, and then you have no contact or touch with the tool, right? You have to have a consistent touch point where you understand that business goals change every year, right? It can become better. It could be completely different from what it was last year. So how can you make the best use of your solution to, reroute or divert into new goals every year? So it's very important to be able to do that as well. And we have a customer success team that focuses on feature adoption and value realization. So I have the last question here, and I would like for Mr. Mohammad Khayata and Ashraf Nadeem and Imran Kannuti to pitch in over here. So now measuring the performance of technology has been a constant challenge. And I think we all know that every time there is, a business meeting and, you need to present it to upper management, there's always, okay, what metrics make sense to them, right? What will they understand, and how do we translate that into business outcomes? That's constantly a challenge for all of us. So how can IT leaders measure the impact of ITOM capabilities, right? And what are the KPIs they need to track? And for example, if anyone's going into a meeting tomorrow, what are the metrics that they need to look at and present, even to make business decisions, right? It could be a bad metric as well. Like your metrics don't always have to be positive. So what are the key metrics that you need to look at to assess how you as an IT organization is doing?
If I may start, so basically, if we want to put the measures to impact the ITOM capabilities, so one of them is the scope of innovation. So this is an important measure in each and every organization living in this era. So how innovative innovation can come from any member of the organization through a managed services platform. So that's one. Second is to boost productivity. So one of the most important things is also to put a measure, how do we as an organization measure productivity? For example, tasks assigned in MS projects and tied up with the responsibilities are important to be measured in terms of time delivered and quality. And it's only IT service applications can monitor and give you an output. Other ideas or other challenges that I think we should measure are the cost effectiveness and cost cutting. IT plays an important role in reducing our cost of operation in two ways. One is how we communicate. Second, how intelligently we use our data to be able to get the right decisions, whether you're using analytics for your financial performance, or you're using your analytics in customer segmentation, or using your analytics in who is doing the best out of your staff. So that brings in efficiency, reduction of cost. In addition to this, how is your IT performing in the market in terms of maybe the time required to launch and load? So if I click to have, let's say I have an application, if I click a banking application, the time it loads my information, it loads my credit card, it loads, that's an important impact, because customers today have a very short span of patience. So if the application doesn't work, if there's a downtime in this application, they will definitely turn it off and go to your competitor. Engagement of customers is something to also measure. So attrition. So ITOM will tell you how many customers are leaving you, the attrition, because it costs you a lot of money to get a customer, and it costs more when a customer leaves you. Another is the lead indicator, or lead generation of your customers. How do customers speak about your services? And all services today are highly reliant on IT. And how could they spread the word to give a positive impact to grow your businesses? So I think these are important measures that are required for each and every organization to keep and map it with its objectives of each and every year, and see how ITOM can help to have an efficient achievement of your targets.
Thank you.
I think
I might take
Ashraf. Yeah, please, Ashraf, go ahead.
Thank you, Imran. Thank you, Mohammed. I think we're very, very well articulated, and you touch bases on important factors. The innovation is really something very important. From my perspective, really, when the way I see it, when it comes to availability and performance, I believe the key differentiator here is the business service availability and performance. The end user doesn't really care if the server is reachable or not. The end user doesn't really care if the data link is available or not. The user doesn't really care if the storage is full or not. What the business really cares about their service, their end service is up and running. The customer care about when he wants to do a money transfer, the money transfer service is available. When they want to create a purchase order, procurement, purchase order service is available. So with this in mind, it's really very, very crucial to understand the business services and properly link them to the underlying IT infrastructure components. Where I think IT should build two separate KPIs. One KPI is the availability of the business services, as we said, the transfer, the whatever service provided, whatever the service that the company is providing. So these are from a customer or end user perspective. Another KPI is related to the underlying infrastructure component. There could be, for example, 2 data links to measure the resilience and the high availability of the services. So these are an IT operational KPIs to ensure the full resilience of the availability of the services to the business. So that's really where I see the link, and it has to be properly defined. And dependency is clearly defined where you link your business service with the infrastructure IT component. And the first one would definitely measure through business SLAs, and the second one measure the IT performance. So this is really how I think these two KPIs are important to the business.
Thank you, Ashraf. I would like to share with the panel and the attendees some other insightful information on this metrics. I would like to give a very live example. Like I have seen some organizations in the region where they really don't evaluate their operations. They don't put any methods or metrics. They are not even defined, because I felt that somewhere, some around that they have not felt that necessity or importance is required. It's very simple. Why we should measure the performance of any organization or any, particularly when it comes to IT operations? It's straightforward. It is to differentiate successful companies from the ones that are not successful. Like if you don't compare yourself where you are, comparing with your other partners or other competitors in the market, then you will not have a plan of defining any strategies going forward. So incorrect measurement of IT may lead to inaccurate data, which could mean a severe loss of finances and your reputation, all these things. So when it comes to metrics, what I personally feel is, before we agree on any metrics, I have a classification of the areas where we should first group all these metrics under some categories. For example, you should establish objectives of the measuring assessment. And you should set a range for the efficient measurement. You cannot measure everything in an organization, but you should find some key areas where you really want to define the metrics for those measurements. And then you should also probably work out on defining some rules for the data collection, like how to collect the data, how to manage the data, how to control the data breach, how to manage the data over the cloud, and how you maintain this type of stuff over the cloud technologies. And then once you collect the data, you should also define the process for analysis of the collected data and how to present to management. And finally, provide the suggestions and recommendations to the management. So if you categorize these areas under your metrics, then probably, as our colleague said, we can bring different types of metrics. Every organization is different when it comes to execution. And every metric is very important. It's not like this company's metrics are valid and this company's metrics are not valid. It all depends what type of organization it is and what type of people are driving it and what type of technology you are using inside your company. These are all the key factors for you to decide the metrics, which will help you to measure your IT performance, which is very much required for any organization to sustain in this digitally accelerated world. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. all of you for it was a very, very insightful session. So I think I completely agree. It is not a simple and straightforward answer. No two organizations are going to measure a few metrics the same way, the exact set of measures. Like you said, it is very goal driven. You'll need to understand what your focus point is and then define metrics around it, right? So it's completely agree. Thank you so much for sharing. But I just have a quick, I know that a lot of questions are coming in as well, but if all of you can share one metric that you all the time have on your dashboard or you look at in your current organization, what is that one metric? I'd love to hear from all of you. Mr. Imran, do you want to go first? You're on mute. I think you're talking on mute.
Yeah, I can talk about, is it audible now?
Yes.
Yeah, I can talk about one important metrics which I always think about, that is availability and performance of online applications. Like, see, every organization is flooded with a lot of applications serving business and IT counterparts, and IT and operations are doing great contribution for the organization to support the business as usual. Now, when it comes to define a probable metrics, I look at what is the availability and what is the performance required of online applications, because these days everything is digital and everything is online. So I see one area how I define a metrics under this performance of the online applications. Like, it refers to how much of the time the program is working properly. Does the applications which are serving to my customers, is it 24/7? Is there any downtime? If there is unforeseen incident is happening, then how resilient the application is? Are we building our applications on the right innovative platforms like cloud technologies, where if you need anything to increase in your capacity, how quick you are to the market? So these are the things I will look into with respect to the digital acceleration that is currently happening.
Thank you so much.
To simplify it in one single matrix, I think, in my point of view, the most important is basically the customer satisfaction. So how happy is my customer? And in this regard, I remember a book I read by Simon Sinek, The Infinite Game. And he suggests that the best way, I mean, we are playing in an infinite game. So if I am in an organization, I have the IT, I have my customers, I have my employees, I have my boss, I have my board, I have these. We are here into an infinite game. And the best way to measure your performance is to measure what you're doing this year versus last year. So benchmark yourself to yourself. Are you getting better? Are your customers more happy? Are you growing in the customer base? It is similar to the pit stop in Formula One. It's not only the technology, it's the driver and the pit stop team who measures his heart rate, who measures his pressure, who measures the tires, who measures the heating, who gives him information that helps him not to look into dashboards because he has an instantaneous decisions to take. So I think customer or the driver is the most important field for you to mirror and have an idea about your IT performance.
Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to... Sorry. Yes, Ashraf.
I do second Mohammed and Imran. I think it's not really one KPI. I mean, at the end, it's a customer satisfaction. Net promoting score will tell this. Customer satisfaction rate will definitely tell this. However, you have two customers here, end users and stakeholders, shareholders. So this, whatever we do in IT will definitely reflect back on the business and on the customer as well. So,
absolutely. I completely agree. And it's very important to understand if the services, like whom you're providing the services for, is contented with it, if you're doing something wrong or if you're doing things right. It's one of the key metrics. I completely agree. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm going to quickly jump into a case study. I know we're almost at time. It's been a fantastic discussion we didn't, that we've been having. So I'm going to quickly talk about Aramex. I'm sure most of you have heard about Aramex. It's an international express mail delivery and logistics service company based out of Dubai. UAE. And Aramex is one global IT team and many local IT teams with more than 200 IT agents working across the globe. Now, Aramex was basically using an in-house legacy IT service desk that was rigid, ill-defined. It required constant resources to maintain and upgrade, and it was an on-premise system, so it was not easy to scale, and it could not keep up with the growing needs of Aramex. So these were the challenges that they had, and of course, they switched to Freshservice, and Freshservice was a robust IT service desk that didn't really add any complexity to the IT operations, unlike other service desks that they had considered, right? And the simplicity and obviousness of the interface made it a preferred choice for the agents as well. Now, here's what they saw, right? Now, they were able to streamline IT support and operations. The average time taken to resolve a ticket fell by 35%. And Aramex noticed that 1/3 of their escalated cases related to the same topic and created relevant K-based articles, which resulted in, a decline of related queries by almost 50%. And also they achieved a total savings of over $56,000 after switching to Freshservice. I'm happy to talk more about this. I know we're a little over time, but a quick question, if you would like to have a walkthrough of Freshservice, know more about Freshservice, if Lara, you can launch the poll. I just want to understand how many folks are interested, and then we can take it from there.
So Subhashree, Freshservice, I have been already a customer of it from Oman Insurance Company.
Oh, that's great. So,
so in 2018, we have implemented, 2020, we have implemented Freshservice. Oman Insurance. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. How has your experience been?
Yes, it was good. It was good. Initially, it was implemented as IT service management tool. Later, we were given an extension of services in IT service management towards projects managing.
Okay, fantastic.
We were offered that the IT service management tool, the Freshservice can also provide some services to PMO department. So yes. I was in the process of going through the PMO capabilities of the tool. So, and then I had an exit from that company. I joined Mbank. And sharing experience of Freshservice being a customer.
Thank you so much. That's great to hear. All right. Yeah, so my team will reach out to all those who have said yes and you need more information. My information and our information will be available with DigiConnect as well. We'll be sending you an email. Lara should be sending you an email right after this with all of the information. And, our team will be in touch with you. So thank you so much. I hope if you're looking for a free trial, if you just want to take a quick look at the product, you can scan the QR code on screen and just sign. It's a free sign up. You get a 21-day trial. And then, my team will be in touch with you. So, or you can also log on to freshservice.com and then check out the product and what we have to offer. So I know we are a little over time, Lara, but I know we also have a few questions. I have some direct questions as well. If there needs to be an on-prem, we are an only cloud offering. We are not on-prem. We're completely on the cloud. I know we have other questions as well. Lara, how do you want to take this forward?
We can take 3 questions. I think the other ones are a little bit brief. There was one person who asked, how do you choose the best ITSM tool? Because there are a lot of tools in the market. So Subhashree, this is for you.
Yeah, I would like to answer that question. Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
Yeah, first of all, then that's a very important question and a tricky question with respect to the current market trends. See, for any organization to decide on which IT service management tool has to be picked, for this, I can see 2 things need to be balanced. First, the organization should have a clear visibility on what type of services you are expecting from the IT services management tool. Because as the time has progressed, the way IT service management tool to serve any IT operations or any IT department has changed. So the IT service management tool behavior is not like today when you compare 10 years back. It has totally changed because a lot of innovation technologies has come inside. Like artificial intelligence is one example I can tell. So for any company to choose which tool is best, first the company has to understand what are the services they need to bring under the service management tool. Have they met their all employees in the organization and understand exactly what type of services they want to cater in this service? This is one thing. Second, the company should have a clear and fair idea about the innovation of the technologies that are being implemented in the IT service management tool. For example, they should not directly just go and Google it and identify some vendors and then call them for a proof of concept and then see which software is coming as a cheap. No, this is not the way of selecting a vendor these days, particularly when the technology digital acceleration is on a high speed. You should really have a fair idea that are you really want to leverage the innovative technologies in your company. Then you need to really look into which IT service management tool is actually utilizing the latest technologies, which is not only the cost effective, but also using the technologies like cloud and provides more interaction with the customers with the help of artificial intelligence. This type of thinking, if you have, then probably your search will narrow down to very less service vendor solution partners in the region. And then probably you can select the best one. As I said, Fresh Service is one. And I can also recommend Assist is another. Sorry for taking the name Assist here, but I'm just sharing my experience. These are a couple of innovative vendors, I can say. They are fully utilizing the innovative technologies under IT service management application. So in a nutshell, you should have a clear requirement of what you want to implement. And more importantly, you should not expect the service management tool to take more inputs from the customer, because I can tell 10 years back, the situation of the Assist tool is horrible because the tool was asking too much of information from the customer when we are submitting a request. And at the end of the day, nobody will look into such information. So I was highlighting that point. Don't expect something from customer which is just for record purpose and does nothing. Take the minimal information that is required for the customer to be served. That is how the user interface should be engineered in the service management tool. So clear requirement, understanding of the innovation technologies in the market. A combination of these two, you can go into the market and find for a right solution.
Thank you so much, Mr. Imran. I think I completely resonate with whatever he. Sorry, thank you so much. I completely. Yes. So thank you so much for that. I think most of what he said, I completely agree with. And I would just say, understand your goals, what level of maturity you're in, what is your key, or what is the reason you need an ITSM tool? Is it just to handle all the incoming service requests? Is it, you want to have asset management? Like, understand your requirements, like he mentioned, and then go looking for a tool. Again, ensure that it's easy to use, easy to adopt by your agents. You don't want to have a long implementation cycle. You don't want it to be complex such that your agents or your end users are finding it difficult to use. That way, again, you're spending lots of money and buying a tool and, integrating it with your existing tech stack. So I think these are some of the things that you need to keep in mind. And then you will realize that there's not many that kind of satisfy every single requirement or need that you have. So that way you can narrow it down. And then I would also recommend you trial these tools. Most of them offer some free trials. Of course, I would first recommend trial Fresh Service and see, if we can fulfill your needs. But I would say trial it. So as you use it, you'll also get used to and understand the tool better.
Thank you. There's one more. Let's take one more from Osama. How to solve the problem of pad signal for site works when collect the fingerprint monthly to arrange the timesheets? Well, yeah.
Okay. I think I'm not sure if any of the panelists want to take that, but I think we'll have to understand how this timesheet is stored and how that data flows into the existing IT tool, right? You need to ensure, because it's of course fingerprint, so it has to be a physical, it's physical data, and how that's stored as a timesheet, or how that's stored or mapped to the right agents or employees coming in and going out, and how that data needs to flow into your current tool. Of course, there's Active Directories and there's multiple tools that are available that can translate that data. So you need to understand. Of course, I cannot give a full-fledged answer because I don't know exactly what systems you're using at this point, but that is how you need to look at how to translate and move that data from that physical device into your Active Directory or Azure or whatever you're using, and then ultimately flow into your IT tool.
Any from the panelists would like to add to what Subhashree has shared, or we're all good? Okay. All right. So we've had a very interesting session today. It was really interactive. For all of the other questions that weren't answered, not to worry. Freshworks will get in touch with you. We'll put you over to them. And today I would like to thank Freshworks, Subhashree, and of course our esteemed panelists, Mr. Ashraf, Nadeem, Imran, Kannuti, Mr. Mohammed, Shalan, Mr. Mohammed, Wassim, Khayata. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise and your thought leadership. It was indeed an interesting session, and we look forward to hosting you all again in our next events. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, Subhashree. Thank you very much. Great job.
Have a
Thank you
good
very much.
Everyone.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.